Welcome to the latest installment of my Kiwi blog, Communication Across the Ocean. I'm Jeff Gentry. Meeting people all over Canterbury for the last 6 weeks has given me a lot of perspective, I think, about things that I like about New Zealand, but also things I like about America. So this is my top 8, what I like about you, Canterbury versus Oklahoma. So first of all, the pace of life. I give it to Canterbury. Things are nice and slow here. Nobody's in a big hurry the way they are back in the States. Stores close. In fact, we had a problem driving about the countryside when gas stations would want to close at 7 o'clock, and we assumed they would be open all night. And we checked into a hotel at 10:30 p.m. and had to wake up the manager who had already given our room away to somebody else and had to give us a different one. Now, I'm not saying that as a criticism. I like that. People actually work and then they go home. In our country, I think we pretty much work so that we can work some more. So pace of life, Canterbury. Number 2, though, cost of living. Oklahoma, hands down. Oklahoma has a wonderful cost of living. In fact, in Canterbury province, since the earthquake, their tax rates went up 6.6% just to try to pay for the cleanup. But overall, the US dollar can buy 62% more in America than the Kiwi dollar can buy here in New Zealand. So the exchange rate is a little mixed up, and in fact the Prime Minister, John Key, doesn't like the exchange rate. He thinks the New Zealand dollar is too strong and would like it to come down a little bit. So we're paying a little bit extra to live here. Number 3, local vistas. Need I say more? Canterbury is beautiful, New Zealand is beautiful. You know about Middle Earth. You know that the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was filmed just outside of here in Canterbury. So the vistas, we've got trees and gardens everywhere. Christchurch is known as the Garden City. Everybody has beautiful lawns, and the public gardens are fantastic. So if you want to see beautiful scenery, oh, and I didn't even mention the fantastic mountains that you also see in The Lord of the Rings. The Southern Alps are fantastic. So vistas, Canterbury wins. Local autonomy, though, Oklahoma. We have county government, we have state government, and then we have federal government. In New Zealand, they pretty much have a centralized national government up in Wellington that tells everybody what they have to do. In a lot of cases, it is democratic, but there's that central government. Canterbury is no longer a province, it's just a region, a place. And Christchurch City Council has some good power, but there's no county and there's no state. So for those reasons, Oklahoma has a lot more local control, and since the earthquakes here, Cantabrians have really wished that they could have more say in how the earthquake relief and rebuilding is going on rather than the central government doing so much. All right, number 5, climate. Canterbury wins on the climate. This place has a maritime effect, so even though we are as far south as Wyoming is north, the sea, we're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, and it provides this wonderful climate. And in fact, people have told me that they've had the nicest summer here in more than 20 years because it's been fairly dry and very warm, meaning highs getting over 80 and 85 sometimes. Beautiful weather here. Oklahoma, too hot in the summer, and the ice storms don't help much in the winter. All right, number 6, though, family climate. I'm going with Oklahoma on this one. Oklahoma has a better lifestyle for families, I would say, than Canterbury, partly because of faith. A lot more people in Oklahoma are going to go to church or participate in their faith communities. Not so much here. The rate of church attendance is much lower in Canterbury, and in fact I'm really disappointed that a really fantastic 14K race is going to be held on a Sunday morning, and that's really upsetting. So they're basically telling practicing Christians, you can't do this race. So that's upsetting. And then on the other hand too, not on the other hand, but in addition to that, in New Zealand pretty much everything is legal, and morally that might not be as good, right? Prostitution is legal. I would say for family, Oklahoma. Number 7, fitness. Fitness, it's all over Canterbury. If you want to be fit, this is the place to be. There's lots of mass transit, so everybody walks, and people are in really good shape here. And the running community, I mentioned that they have Sunday morning races, which is too bad. They're not all then, but the great thing about it is that people here are really fast. In Oklahoma, I'm one of the fastest runners around. Over here, I'm pretty slow. I was only halfway, I was exactly in the middle of the pack at my latest 10K race, whereas in Oklahoma, I'm usually in the top 10 or 15%. So people here are fit, they walk, they're in shape, and there's not near the level of obesity in New Zealand as in America. But number 8, running scene. If you want to be a runner, Oklahoma is a little bit better because even though people here are fit, not a lot of people participate in the running community. In Oklahoma, you have huge races where everybody participates, and here you have really fast people, but the not so fast don't enter. And so for the running community, Oklahoma is great. I've always envied, when I didn't live in Tulsa, I envied Tulsa running because you could find a race all the time. In Canterbury, not as many races, and the people who turn out are really just the fast people, not so much participation from others. So that's my top 8. What I like about you, Canterbury versus Oklahoma. Stay tuned for our next and I think final segment in the Kiwi blog coming your way soon.